So today we're in the Fujikawaguchiko region, the Five Lakes region near Mount Fuji. I stayed above the lakes at Fuji Q station, and as you can see it's pretty amazing because it's urban sprawl, and yet you can see incredible views of Fuji San. Fuji San is even more impressive, I think, in real life. So these are the first lakes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I went all the way around the small part of Lake Fujikawaguchiko. There's a bridge that's to the right on the first day, and then I went to the second lake, Lake Saiko, on the second day. Yeah, so Fujisan is even more impressive in real life than it is in your imagination. So here are the local cormorants having a nice rest after lunch. So I had come in from Matsumoto on the Tokyo-bound Shinkansen. Sorry about the fashion crime White Sox. And there were no spaces left towards Mount Fuji. But as we went past, I was so jealous because none of the fashionable Tokyoites lifted their eyes once to see it. I did regret not taking a hotel by the lake because it's just so idyllic. But I did enjoy spending time in the capsule hotel at Fuji Q, which was my first. So you can actually see Mount Fuji dead ahead here, which I couldn't in real life. So the reason everything has a reddish tinge is because there's sand coming in from the Gobi Desert, and that's why it's all red in the Fuji region. So that's why there's a reddish tinge. There we are, first view of Mount Fuji from the lake. So here we are at the bridge, crossing the bridge, really good view of Mount Fuji. So just dead ahead you can see the tiny shrine, which is at the top of a rocky pinnacle, the red, kind of brownish, which is the Ubu Yagasaki shrine, which translates to Birth Cape. So the weather forecast was really bad, and I was expecting one of those terrible moments where you cross the world to see something important and nature says, nope, you can't. We're not doing that today. So overnight there was a huge storm, and in my mind I cancelled my visit to the second lake, but because of the huge storm it completely washed out the sky, and the second day was incredibly beautiful. I did meet some people who were there both the bad days, because the weather forecast for the next day was also bad. So I was so lucky I got the beautiful day. So this is a Four Seasons inn, Yado. I now know that Yado means inn in Japanese because of Enka. So we're going to see the old lake boat. Here we come, called Ensoleillé. She's so cute. Now the new boat is called Appare. Appare, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's samurai themed, and you can actually see it on some of the shots here across the lake. It was navigating across the lake. If you can tell me where, I'll send you a tegami. So the ropeway is to the right of the screen. I was planning on going there to go up to the top. So I'm on my way to Rokakudo, which is a six-sided pavilion, which was first built in 1274, and nature destroyed it in 1559, and it was recently rebuilt. You can see it to the right in the distance. So normally Rokakudo isn't accessible on foot, but some years the lake descends and it becomes accessible by a spit of dry land. Here we go, there it is. Very cute. So we're about to enter the rush part of the lake, Ogi, and I just seen what other Japanese towns do with these Japanese rushes. In Shirakawa-go, they use the same rushes, according to Grok, to thatch the roofs. So this very cute little pavilion, people were always sitting at it, and you wonder why. Why is it here? And then you get there and you think, that's why, because there's a beautiful view of Fuji San. So the gentleman to the right there, who's photographing it, he was like several people. I met them several times during the day, and he was getting his shots of Mount Fuji. So I didn't actually know that getting to Rokakudo was a big deal, and so I wasn't that careful filming it. I would have done better had I known. I'm sorry. It's always interesting during days like this at very touristy places that you meet people several times, despite the fact that you're not necessarily doing the same things. So here we are at Rokakudo. So cute. So normally you can only do this by boat. Oh wow. So the Canadian gentleman next to me is the one we saw earlier. Mistranslation, but no.
No, it actually is. It was like a sand cloud.
And I'm regretting I haven't got my CPL. Can't. Left it in my other bag. Stupid. I always say you have to take everything with you all the time. Oh my god. She's beautiful. Oh, it's a woman. I'm telling you, it's a woman. It's a lady. Are you sound like you're not British or?
No, Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
But British Isles from?
No, I'm from Canada.
Okay. No, I was just saying because the Japanese don't see mountains as a male or female.
Oh, I see.
And as a Brit, I definitely do always give her like a gender to
Sure.
stuff. And I think Fuji San is definitely a lady.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Oh god, I'm wrecking this shot talking, but never mind. Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh my god. I was in there's a stamp museum in a famous wood block museum in Matsumoto.
Okay.
And they have some of the famous prints of Mount Fuji.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was looking at them, and then you can make one yourself with the stamps that they have.
Right.
And I was making one, and now I'm seeing it.
Yeah, this was my main goal coming here, was to get a shot of Fuji, so this is the moment.
I love this shot, but I hadn't realized then how easy it is to blur faces, so I stopped the shot because there were people in it, but now I know I could have just blurred their faces. And here we are back at the pavilion. Oh my god. So it was around about this point that I realised that actually it was a beautiful, beautiful day, and it wasn't that long to get to Lake Saiko. So I decided to go back to my original plan and go to Lake Saiko. Doesn't feel real. I kept on having to. Here we are, Lake Saiko. You take to get there. I took the red line. So I just couldn't get over it. You're at the bus station waiting for a bus, and you've got Fuji San in the background. It's just I kept on having to pinch myself, but I just couldn't believe that I was there. My brain kept on saying, "You're making this up." Here we are, Lake Saiko. It's so beautiful, very quiet. It's so beautiful. The region is really beautiful. I would love to spend at least a week there, just walking around. And the soundscape, the bird soundscape at Lake Saiko is a national treasure, I think, if I've got that right. But unfortunately, I didn't really hear that many birds while I was there. This is lunch with Mount Fuji. So this is back to Fujikawaguchiko. So this is a section called, there's a lover's bell, and it's the path that leads to the bell. I didn't take photos of the bell because there are millions of them online, but the path itself is incredibly beautiful. So here we are at a spit of land. Behind us is the temple, famous temple, Fujiyomoro Sengen Shrine. So here we are, this is the gate of the temple. You can see I've forgotten what is called the white rope, which denotes sacred land. Sakura, first time, my first sakura. But they were completely closed. So I actually tried to walk across this, and I couldn't. I had to give up and go back. I hadn't realised that it's the bottom of the lake. What part of those cute red and white depth poles did you not realise meant you were on the bottom of the lake, Solo-chan? So I got here, and this is an interesting museum, like an anime kind of museum called Muse, with, I would call them dolls. I'm sorry, I don't know much about anime. And I went in to buy a tanagi, because I like to use it when it's hot. You can wet it and it keeps your head cool. And I felt guilty after I'd bought the tanagi. So I visited the museum. It's very, very beautiful, even if it's not really my kind of thing. So from here I kind of got snap happy because you could see Mount Fuji so beautifully. So there's a million pictures of Mount Fuji. So I definitely get why the locals sometimes get a bit upset, because there is something incredibly surreal about Mount Fuji, the beautiful lake, the beautiful countryside, and the urban part, because it's just where people live, and I definitely get why they would get a bit shirty sometimes. But it is just so incredible. So to the right here, there's a very nice little cafe thing where the people were so nice to me the day before. You couldn't even see Mount Fuji. One point, the lady who was so nice, she said, "Would you like to move to that table because you can see Mount Fuji?" And I said, "Well, there's not much point because we can't see it." Here we are. Cloud pruning. I love cloud pruning. It's kind of giant bonsai. So there's a famous theme park. You can see it, barely see it at the bottom of the building on the left. And it must be completely amazing. There's a roller coaster, and the views from the top of the roller coaster must be amazing. I didn't have time to go. Unfortunately, you can't do everything. So to the left there, you can just see at the end the kind of red building. That's where the capsule hotel is. There you can see the roller coaster. Must be amazing. So the museum and the Tanagi. So apparently this is a famous one, and I met a gentleman on the Nakasendo who could read where my Tanagi was from because of the design. And it's because it's the iconic view in the lake, upside down view of Fuji San, which obviously I never got to see because there was no such thing as a calm Fujikawaguchiko when I was there. And the birds are from Burgundy, they're in my house.